You still shouldn't have drugged me.
No, I know. That was...
Extremely uncool. That's not, though. Holy shit.
Right? Glenn Gooley, for the best of times.
You don't think they'll kill him, do you?
No, then they have to kill us. But before we go back to the States...
Archer, I am not driving to Scotland with a kidnapped MI5 agent in the back just to visit a stupid distillery.
It's not stupid, Lana. It's Glenn Gooley for the best of times.
What was the name again?
Kladdkaka.
My nerds, I am admin Kayla Fett, and we are bringing you a brand new segment to Nerds today. Okay, so this segment is going to be called Geeky Gastronomy, which gets infinitely harder to say the more that you drink. I can attest from experience. What we're going to do is we're going to bring you an episode. Each episode is going to revolve around one geeky or nerdy thing, whether it be TV shows or movies or comic books or whatever the hell. Okay. This particular episode is going to be around Archer, specifically episode 1, season 1, episode 4 of Archer. We are going to be making Kladdkaka, which I am 100% sure was only used because it sounds funny. But yeah, we're going to do one in each episode. We're going to do something that's some kind of food and then some kind of cocktail. So the food for this week is going to be the Kladdkaka, which is a Swedish chocolate cake. It's very gooey, very browny, very awesome. And then we are also, for the cocktail this week, we're going to do like 6 gummy bears and some scotch, which is just exactly what it sounds like, and it's just kind of hilarious. So we are going to get started here, and for the Kladdkaka, and do not get nervous about making this. It's extremely easy to make, and all of these recipes are going to be very easy to make, and I will almost 100% of the time be making it for the first time. So if I fuck it up, we fuck it up together. Alright, so what you will need for this one is going to be pie plates, because fuck dishes. I'm doubling this recipe. You can cut it in half, but I figure if you're going to get all this crap out and you're going to do all this, then you may as well make 2 of them. Alright, so what I have here is 1 cup of all-purpose flour. Okay, I got 2 2/3 cups of regular granulated white sugar. I've got 1/2 cup of cocoa powder. The darker you can get, the better. This is a mix of regular cocoa powder and Dutch cocoa powder. I've got 1 cup of butter. Y'all, this is not going to be low calorie. I apologize. It's not vegan. It's not low calorie. It's not gluten free. It's all of the bad, awful, delicious stuff. Okay? We also need 2 tablespoons of vanilla extract and 4 eggs. Alright? You are also going to need a bowl, at least 2 bowls. And then, this is not required, but it's really, really suggested. I just like the way it sounds, so we're going to use this later. And a mixer. You don't have to use a mixer. You can mix this by hand. I just think that it's a lot easier to set it and let it go, and that way you can sit here and sip on your drink while you're letting the mixer do the work. Alright, so the first thing we are going to do is preheat our oven to 300 degrees. Now this is a convection oven. This is just what I happen to be using. You can use any kind of oven you have in your house. In fact, you could probably use a microwave, but I don't really suggest it. Okay, well, we've got this set for 300 degrees, and we're going to come back over here. Alright, now, according to my handy dandy recipe here, we need to take this butter here, and we need to take these pie plates, and we need to lubricate them thoroughly. So we're going to take the butter, and we're just going to, that's very soft butter. We're going to try to do this without making too much mess. Make sure you get your little grooves in your pie plate. This is a lot of butter. Very soft. Alright. And then we're going to do the other one. Same way. think I let my butter get a little bit too soft, so try not to let it get this soft. But make sure butter never hurt anybody. Well, for the most part. Alright, so there's that. Let me get this butter off my hands. Alright, and pro tip, if you take the cocoa powder, which I don't remember where I put it, it's here somewhere. If you take some cocoa powder, and you do this number here, it kind of helps keep your cake from sticking. Do this over a garbage can if you don't want to make it just a horrendous mess. But yeah, that just helps keep everything from kind of sticking to your pan. Alright. So the pans are now prepped. Now we're going to take the cool little sifter thing and flour, and we're going to put the flour in the sifter. And we're also going to try not to make a mess again. Sometimes it's going to work. Don't you love that sound? And then we're going to take the cocoa powder, because it's obviously exceedingly lumpy. We're going to do the same thing. I may need a spoon to help you out a little bit. You can also do this with a fine sieve if you have one, or, I mean, it's not absolutely necessary. You can also put this stuff in a bowl and whisk it up pretty good to break up the lumps. And obviously our cocoa powder is very lumpy. Being problematic. Oh. Alright, that's good enough. Alright. Then we need a pinch. Well, actually, I'm doubling this, so 2 pinches of salt. And a pinch is just that. It's up and up. Alright, so we got that all ready to go. We're going to set that aside. And now, we're going to break out the awesome KitchenAid mixer here. And we are going to put in our sugar. And our eggs. And you're going to turn that on, I would say medium-low, and then every once in a while you're going to stop and scrape down the sides. Maybe medium. Yeah, that sounds good. And you're just going to let that run, and I'll show you what it looks like when it's done. Alright, so we have let the mixer run for about, I would say about a minute to a minute and a half. This is what it's going to look like. It's going to be kind of smooth. I mean, you're still going to have the sugar grains in there because it's a lot of sugar, but it's going to be a smooth mixture like that. Alright, so next what we're going to do is we're going to attach our handy dandy paddle attachment. I don't know how to use this machine. Oh, there we go. Alright, so we got our paddle attachment here, and we are going to start mixing in the flour. Okay, so we're going to put it on low speed, and we're going to start mixing in the flour and cocoa and salt mixture. Just a little bit at a time like that, or you'll make a big mess. So we're going to stop for a second and scrape down our sides here just to make sure everything gets all nice and incorporated. You only want to mix this until it's just combined. Alright, so keep an eye on it. And as soon as it looks like it's a solid mixture, kind of like that, you can stop. Alright, and now we're going to melt our butter. I'm going to just stick this in the microwave on like 30-second intervals until it's melted. If you try to do it all at one time, it's going to all bubble up. It's going to be everywhere. You'll have a big mess. It's not good times. So we're going to do that. You can cut. Alright, so now our butter is fully melted. It took about a minute. We're going to put this back on low. We are going to pour our butter into our batter. And then we're going to add the vanilla. And that's going to mix for a minute until it's incorporated. Don't make a mess. Make a mess, bad time. It's bad time. Alright, so let me scrape down the sides right quick. Just to make sure there's no stuff that hasn't been incorporated. And we're going to hit it one more time. And don't eat raw eggs because it causes salmonella. Next, we're going to take our prepared pie plates here and our awesome chocolatey mixture here. And we are going to put about half of it into the pie plate. We're going to do the same thing with the other one because we are making two. I'm trying to keep it kind of even because these are going to cook in the same oven. So. You can cut. Alright, we've got both of our pie plates equally filled and everything is all, nice and flat and stuff. What I like to do is I like to take them and drop them, because if you have too many bubbles, it tends to help them. Obviously it's not doing a very good job, but not good enough. Don't double pie plate. That'll mess up everything. Alright, so we're going to take both of these and we're going to go over here and put them into our preheated oven on the bottom rack. Alright, so we're going to put that one right there. I'm going to put that one right there. And we're going to hope that closes. Close enough. Alright, so we're going to let that run for 35 minutes or so. I'm probably going to come back and check in about 30 minutes to see. You want the center to be not just almost barely set, not set. If you stick something in there, you want it to come out gooey because this is supposed to be, pretty gooey in the middle. So we're just going to set the timer for 30 minutes. And we're going to come back and check on it. So while that's cooking, we get to make our cocktail. Now this is some scotch and like 6 gummy bears. So right here, I have a couple ounces of the best Glengooley blue scotch that I could get my hands on. And here I have some gummy bears. And this is like super, super simple. Watch this, super complicated. You take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 gummy bears, and wha-bam! There is like 6 gummy bears and some scotch. Alright. I know what this is going to taste like. And it's just as terrible as it sounds. So yeah. Cocktail finished. It's been about 35 minutes and we're going to take these out of the oven. Alright. You see that jiggle? You want that jiggle.
Hey, phrasing!
Okay. So we're going to take this over here and set it on the counter. And we're going to get the other one out. We're going to set it on the counter. And if you notice, the cake is falling a little bit. It's sinking in the center. That is perfectly fine. It's supposed to do that. And yeah, that's absolutely normal. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to leave those there for 1 hour. So 1 hour, don't mess with it, don't do nothing. They've got to set up some. So we're gonna come back in an hour and finish it up.
2,000 years later.
Alright, so it's been about an hour, and this is mostly set up. It's still a little warm, but you want to eat it while it's still a little warm. I mean, it's good when it's cold too. You want to eat it when it's still a little warm. Alright, so we're going to take a little bit of confectioner sugar, and we're going to use our handy dandy little, you can use a sieve for this, but this is already dirty, so this is what I'm going to use. And we're just going to put a little bit of powdered sugar, a lot of powdered sugar over the top of it. And yeah, that's plenty. That's good enough. Alright, and then we're gonna take it and we're gonna try to loosen the edges just a touch. Now, this, like I said, this is gonna be a very gooey cake. It is meant to be that way. See, now there's still stuff on the knife when I'm loosening it from the pan. It's gonna be very gooey. And we are gonna, like I said, just go around the pan here. Okay, just to help it out some. Yes, that's delicious. And we're gonna grab a plate. We're gonna take a slice here. Now it's gonna have some very crispy edges. This is like the best brownie you've ever eaten. Alright, so I'm gonna take a piece out. Ah. And if it like breaks like that when you're taking it out of the pan, that's perfectly fine. It happens all the time. I have the pictures of stuff looks like that on the internet. There we have that. And we are just going to take a little bit of whipped cream here. We're going to put it on top. And it's usually garnished with some kind of berry or something. So we're going to do that. And well, bam! We have Kladdkaka. And we also have scotch and gummy bears. But yeah, that's it for this episode of Geeky Gastronomy. And yeah, if you like this, if you want to see more of it, tell us any suggestions you have down below. I want to see your versions of this. I want to see how it came out for you. And yeah, just tune in for next time. Alright, bye.